can you just tell us if the U.S. government has collapsed?
Luckily, no. Our officials have left the city and are running the government from a bunker in rural Virginia.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess they'll be safe outside the city.
Why? Josh, I swear to God, if you're saying that it's because lady robots can't drive.
No, it's because robots can't drive. But if robots could drive, I'm sure she could drive, and she could enslave humanity just as good as any male robot. And they're not just in the video. Look at the chemistry they have. And this is genuinely unfortunate and unfair to Trump, but the way the camera highlighted the two of them makes it look like a giant heart on a kiss cam. What makes me feel terrible is I don't have a friend that I'm as close with as Trump was to Epstein, you know? They're making drawings for each other, laughing, showing up to weddings, going to shows together. The only way my friends hang out with me that much is if we're both holding Xbox controllers.
If President Trump said Iceland, he definitely meant Iceland. What's that? Scotland. We're going to Scotland now.
What? Why Scotland?
Oh, well, it's definitely not because Trump was looking at a map of Greenland while getting a text from Scott Baio, if that's what you're suggesting.
That sounds like exactly what happened.
I'll tell you what is happening. Our firm-brained president has decided we are invading Scotland, and that's that. What's that? Legoland. We're going to Legoland now.
Legoland?
No, you're stupid.
I didn't say that.
Okay, but you thought it.
Let me guess, President Trump was thinking of Greenland, but then he saw Barron's Lego Death Star and wanted it?
No, you communist. It was Eric's Duplos. It helps with his fine motor skills. Regardless, Legoland is toast. We're already pre-bombing it, but they can rebuild it if they want, very easily, actually.
The point is, don't go around escalating the situation.
This morning, the National Guard and Park Police patrolling the reflecting pool on the National Mall.
There are cameras stationed every 50 yards or so.
The president had Marine One do a flyover around the reflecting pool.
According to the White House, 17 police reports have been filed for vandalism, leading to 6 arrests.
Dang, you treating the reflecting pool like Epstein drowned in it. Just imagine what Iran must be thinking right now. They turn on the TV like, where are the Americans plotting to send their force? Damn. Are they even thinking about us? How could this possibly happen?
The corporation said producers were overseeing the coverage from a truck and simply did not hear the slur.
Oh, that makes sense, because most of the times I've been called the N-word, it's been hurled from a truck. Look, I have seen so much anger and hate online fighting over this, with people rushing to attack anyone they saw as ableist in some ways that were pretty racist. People are pretending to be neurologists while saying things like, don't you say the R word, you N-word? Everyone was so mad at each other when all of us should be mad at the BAFTAs. But maybe there's something I'm missing.
The amazing thing is you look at Portland, and you see fires all over the place. It's like the movies where you have these bombed out cities. I don't know what could be worse than Portland. You don't even have sewers anymore.
There are no stores in Portland? You're telling me if I type stores in Portland into Google Maps, it'll just be like, nah, this is one of those store cities. Nah, we're not doing that nasty stuff over here, okay? Also, not having stores isn't exactly the worst thing about a war zone. No one was looking at Hiroshima like the devastation was incredible. Not a single Bob's Discount furniture left standing.
How much are your constituents clamoring for more information about Epstein right now?
It's the number one phone call that we get, by far. It's probably 500 to 1.
500 to 1?
Yeah, it's number one phone calls that we get.
I'm sorry, 500 to 1? I want to know about the Epstein files, but that is wild. That means people are calling in 500 times about Jeffrey Epstein for every one caller who's just like, hey, my tap water poison. And I could understand it if everything else in your state is going fine. But this congressman's from Missouri, okay? They have real problems, but they're using all their Boost Mobile minutes on this thing. I'll talk to my kids next month. This Epstein thing is too important. It's like he just realized he only has immunity here on Earth. And this isn't a one-off. Trump's been talking about this heaven thing a lot lately.
If you're not a believer and you believe you go nowhere, what's the reason to be good, really? There has to be some kind of a report card up there someplace, like, let's go to heaven, let's get into heaven. I want to try and get to heaven if possible. I'm hearing I'm not doing well. I'm really at the bottom of the totem pole.
Oh man, this is such a bleak and completely accurate view of his chances in heaven.
Well, okay, what about this? I found this flyer that verbatim says DJ Trap Night at Club 69. As in, tonight, we trap DJ Donald J. It couldn't be more clear.
Then what does Club 69 mean?
It means that club is f***ing cool, bro.
Trump has been doing everything that he can to keep those files under wraps. He's even got his friends in Congress trying to help. Mike Johnson shut down the House just to avoid a vote on the release of the files. Yeah. Do you understand that they clear Congress out for the summer like they found a dookie in the pool?
I was losing my blue. But you know what got my blue back? Was Tulsi Gabbard declassifying a draft of a 2017 report arguing for more context for election interference conclusions released by a previous 2016 report. Now that's hot right there. Not some newly discovered video from 2004 of Trump and Epstein slurping up some same strand of spaghetti till they touch lips. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's boring. I'm so bored. Oh, yeah.
Trump's people spent a year saying there are no Epstein files. Now there's 20,000 pages, and those still aren't the files. What happened? There's now more pages of Trump-Epstein lore than Batman and Superman crossover. And look, these 20,000 pages weren't all about crimes. A lot of it was just weird bro shit about women that they dated.
Epstein says in these emails that he could produce photos of Donald and girls in bikinis in my kitchen. Epstein claims that he and Trump had dated the same woman back in the 1990s, saying, my 20-year-old girlfriend in 1993 that after 2 years I gave to Donald.
Do we really need to see the Amelia Earhart files? Like, we know what happened to her. You know? Like, people looked for her. I mean, not hard, but like, but that's just because you couldn't back then. All you could do is stand at the shore and scream, Amelia! Nothing. Okay. So that's exciting news for someone. Probably. I also thought it would not be achievable to lower drug prices 1,000%, because that's not how percentages work. Just so you understand, lowering drug prices 100% means it's free. Lowering it past that means they're going to give you money. This week was a major milestone because Donald Trump made it a whole year, and I gotta give him a hand. Literally, I think he needs a new hand. Because that hand's got one unopened pickle jar before it slides right off. So tonight I thought we'd do a progress report. You know, what Donald Trump promised during the campaign versus what we got so far. We'll see how he grades out. I'm guessing maybe like an A-. Does that sound good to y'all? Okay, damn, fine. A+ then. I didn't realize y'all were such fans. Trump is launching a war on narco-terrorists, which, by the way, I get why he calls them narco-terrorists, because Americans know how to feel about terrorists. We hate those guys. But if you just say it's a war on drug dealers, that's a person we invited to bring us drugs that we wanted. That's like if they told you to start hating your Amazon delivery guy. Like, that's your guy. He's bringing your blender. Trump violating his own HIPAA rights didn't get people to move on from Epstein. So now he's getting snacks involved.
President Trump says he's convinced Coca-Cola to change its recipe. The president claims that the company has agreed to start using real cane sugar in Coke products.
This is so insulting. Trump's treating Americans like a kid you can bribe with a treat. Allow me to demonstrate what Donald Trump is going for here. I don't care about pedophilia anymore. Delicious. The war in Iran is everywhere. It comes up in financial news because of its effect on oil. It comes up in celebrity news, like when Chappell Roan's bodyguard made the Ayatollah cry because he looked at her. And now the war is even creeping its way into the weather.
Our eyes right now, weather-wise, are in the Middle East because they have an unusual system that's developing, going to be bringing heavy rain, possible tornadoes. They could be looking at some haboobs developing there.
Excuse me, Al, what did you just say? Haboobs? Haboobs are developing? Al, be a professional, all right? Call them by their scientific name, habrestuses. Yesterday, the Epstein story exploded back into the national conversation when House Democrats released 3 emails that Jeffrey Epstein wrote about his BFF, Donald Trump. But Donald Trump has the entirety of the GOP behind him. And you know these world-class strategists have a plan for getting this story off the front page.
As part of the Republican response to the selective and limited release of emails by the Democrats, Republicans stepped up and put out 20,000 pages of Jeffrey Epstein-related documents.
Oh, no! This is the downside of your people really having your back, because they were basically like, he got nothing to hide. Here's 20,000 more emails. Don't you people know anything about a cover-up? This is like trying to hide pissing yourself by shitting yourself. Oh. You flew all the way to Davos for concepts of a deal? This is so sad. Remember that friend at the bar who went to approach the beautiful woman? This is like if he just walked back up and you're like, okay, well, what did she say? And he's like, oh, her? Nah, she a ghost. Well, did you at least get her digits? I got concepts of digits. I know there's a 7 in there somewhere. You know what? This is all my bad for thinking Trump's word is worth his weight in gold, because it's definitely not gold. It's more like whatever material they made that Titan submersible out of. What was that, graham crackers or something? By the way, I like how there's 1 bottle of face wash in that photo. You know there's some bodega owner who's like, CeraVe, it's just a different flavor of ranch. It's not even that valuable, it's just ranch. You can make it at home. All you have to do is mix... Wait, what the hell is ranch?
Ask my houseman about Donald almost walking through the door, leaving his nose print on the glass as young women were swimming in the pool, and he was so focused, he walked straight into the door.
There is no way this dude is Looney Tunes level horny. Like, you know, there's normal level perv, and then there's Kool-Aid Man level perv. Hey, Don, you want to see some girls in the pool? Oh, yeah. And look, also, I'm not saying Trump has a micropenis. But it's weird he got all horned up and his nose hit the glass first. Constantino doesn't only rap about how great Donald Trump is, he also raps about how terrible Trump's nemesis is.
You dummies let a terrorist run for office in New York City. This poser Manzami, he ain't even from here. He's still a citizen in Uganda, one of the worst, most vile countries on the planet. Whatever happened to never forget.
Okay. This guy's got it. And by it, I mean a learning disability. Also, I don't know if you heard that, but does he think Uganda did 9/11? Uganda barely got 7/11. Unfortunately for the rest of us, the shutdown is affecting the planes that aren't missing.
This morning, growing gridlock for travelers across the country as the government shutdown hits air travel hard. The FAA warning of staff shortages at least 8 major locations, threatening delays and cancellations in Las Vegas, Chicago, Dallas, Houston, Boston, Newark, Atlanta, and Nashville.
Oh, damn. So many great American cities and Vegas. 2 months ago.
This will last for at least 50 years, and you'll never have a leak. It's very strong. You couldn't, if you had a knife, I don't want to give anybody ideas. If you had a knife, you can't even cut it.
I've never seen someone have a line of logic so stupid they reverse inception themselves. Me from before had the idea to never. I told myself it couldn't be done, and then I forgot. That's why it happened. What if they offered you something really expensive? Donald, what is it that you want? What's so important that you'll keep us all waiting in security lines for a fortnight?
The most important thing we can have is what's called the Save America Act. Don't make any deal on anything unless you include voter ID, and you have to be a citizen to vote. Mail-in voting means mail-in cheating. I call it mail-in cheating.
No, that's right. Trump does not believe in mail-in cheating, all right? If you want to cheat, you do it in person, okay? This is not what a president is supposed to be focused on, unless that president is 7 years old. You know, they're writing a list like, I'm gonna have a slide that goes right from my bed to the pool. And I want a soup made out of candy, so whenever I get hungry, I can just eat my shirt. I'm glad Sean Duffy is talking to them about their problems. It's a quick and direct response that shows no matter what happens, President Trump is not going to let this shutdown stop him from showing how much he cares about the health and well-being of the federal workers.
President Trump has already threatened to fire federal workers, and now the White House is floating a new threat, suggesting that some of the 750,000 federal workers might not get back pay.
Damn, Donald. You're going to furlough these workers and then take away their back pay? If I were them, I'm stealing way more than normal. You know what I mean? When I get back, I'm coming to work with a screwdriver. Forget the toilet paper, I'm taking the whole toilet. But while we wait to see if Ghislaine survives this interview, Trump has been doing everything that he can to keep those files under wraps. He's even got his friends in Congress trying to help. Mike Johnson shut down the House just to avoid a vote on the release of the files. Yeah. Do you understand that they cleared Congress out for the summer like they found a dookie in the pool? This would be like if Nelson Mandela came out of prison like, you know what? I'm done with black people. These guys believe in everything but you. You never want to see the guy who's supposed to keep you healthy and safe talk about dying. Like he's supposed to be leading you. You never want to hear a pilot over the system be like, oh, I just can't wait to get into heaven. Like, can we get to Pittsburgh first? And so he's like, you clean up nice for that with that suit. That you killing it. I'm like, oh, thanks, man. And he's like, yeah, man, I just love what you do. I've been going through a hard time. And so, like, watching you has just been really nice. I'm like, oh, thank you, man. Like that. Anytime somebody tells me that, it fully centers everything that you're trying to do. Because you're just trying to do jokes and make people laugh. But people don't just watch this show. They don't just watch stand-up at home. They watch it in hospital rooms. They watch it when they're going through something, you know? And so he's like, yeah, I've been going through a rough time, been watching the videos and stuff, and it just always makes me laugh. I'm like, that's really nice. I'm glad. And he's like, yeah, man, you and Jost. And I did not have the heart to tell this man I was not Michael Che. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, cool. You know what I mean? We do our best. All right. Heaven is tough to get into. Like, I don't want to throw cold water on your hopes and dreams, but you might want to think about trying to get into, like, a safety heaven. Like, whatever SUNY Albany of heaven is up there. You know what I mean? Like, apply there, you know? Because the truth is, there's probably a good reason for Trump to worry about getting into heaven, you know? Is it? Yep. That too. I mean, that wasn't even the first thing I thought of. Crazy how many things there are. If you want to downplay this story, you need a master, all right? Megyn Kelly, you're a master of spin. Show us what you got.
As for Epstein, he wasn't into, like, 8-year-olds, but he liked the very young teen types. There's a difference between a 15-year-old and a 5-year-old. You know, it's just, whatever, it's sick.
How the hell was Megyn Kelly ever an attorney? Your Honor, my client only engaged in diet pedophilia. Ma'am, everyone knows there's a big difference between a 15-year-old and a 5-year-old, but everyone also knows there's never a good reason to be talking about that difference. This guy is starting to feel like the Jussie Smollett of sex. Like, why is the witness testifying and flexing at the same time? I heard them having sex, but also she was begging to have sex with me. But I said no because I'm constantly having sex. So I just went back to sleep on his couch. Because, you know, none of that was a dream I had once. Just another day in the life of a couch surfing sex god. Let's talk about award shows. They honor creative people, they celebrate great art, and they're how we track the migratory pattern of the Skarsgårds. But one recent award show raised a lot more questions than who are you wearing?
It was supposed to be an evening of Hollywood glamour mixed with British royalty. But the British Film Awards ceremony known as the BAFTAs is facing outrage after black actors Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo took the stage, only for the N-word to be shouted from the audience.
Oh, BAFTA, BAFTA, BAFTA. Don't you miss when nobody knew what you were? When we all thought you were a trade deal or something, you know? I actually once met someone who told me they had a BAFTA, and I was like, I'm so sorry. Is it terminal? We live in such a crazy time now that events don't even need to be connected to each other. Someone tried to kill the president, so now we're gonna build a ballroom. But I feel like someone completely trustworthy told us we wouldn't have to pay for anything.
We're putting up our own money with the government is paying for nothing. We did this no charge to the taxpayer whatsoever. All private money. Not one penny is being used from the federal government.
And to his word, it isn't 1 penny. It's 40 billion pennies. Honestly, as soon as I heard about the ballroom, I knew we would end up paying for it. Like, Trump is the type of dude to wine and dine you and then forget his wallet. You know, he'll just be sitting with you like, I hope you had a great time. I hate to do this, but we're still gonna have sex, right?
He also suggested that the president had defiled a corpse. Billionaire Elon Musk wasn't spared either, with Chansley describing the world's richest man as a baby eater.
This is so bad. That's the thing about QAnon. Like, if Kendrick Lamar wanted to ruin your life, at least he'd do a bunch of research on you and your family. QAnon just comes out and says you're eating spines. And there's no way for you to prove you don't eat spines. In fact, every time you've got some between your teeth, they're like, see, he flossing babies. Obviously, someone could lose their job to AI, which isn't really true. Someone gave your job to AI. Like, the AI didn't come in the room with legs. You know what I mean? Like, AI doesn't have legs to then walk in and be like, I think I'm better. Like, that's not... AI is not pitching itself against you. Someone who wants to save the money that they think that you are wants to replace you. So I think we put it all on the AI instead of putting it on employers and companies and, like, a corporate mindset and everything. But at least Dr. Oz is an actual doctor. You can't say the same for RFK Jr. He's our health secretary and also the man that looks like last year's Halloween pumpkin you forgot to throw out. If you questioned his judgment after those stories came out about him taking home dead whales and dead bears, I have great news. There's a new animal you can add to the list.
The New York Post reports that in a 2001 diary entry, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. wrote about cutting off the penis of a road-killed raccoon while his kids waited patiently in the car so that he could examine it later.
What is wrong with this man? He cut off a raccoon's penis and saved it for later like some kind of raccoon dick push pop. Let's see how the people of Greenland feel about it.
So I think Trump doesn't know about Greenlandic people. We don't really value cash and Kardashian lips and fake boobs and stuff like that very highly.
Damn! That was uncalled for. First thing, we're not all about fake lips and boobs. I'll have you know, we're mostly into butts now. It's one thing to dog Trump, but you're talking about America. Americans could slam you too if we, knew anything about Greenland or where you are. Soon as we find you on a map, consider yourself roasted, all right? But don't worry, because Donald Trump is doing everything he can to wrap it up.
We're having talks with him now, and we're not flying anymore with 18-hour flights every time we want to see a piece of paper. We're doing it telephonically, and it's very nice.
Telephonically? Damn, that's an impressive word, Makes anyone with a phone sound like a wizard. I order large meat lovers telephonically. Now, to be clear, that is a word, but he didn't know that. He talks the way I play Scrabble, Just like, oh, wow, I was just throwing letters together. How many points is that? The Baptists also tried to apologize during the ceremony, and here's how it went.
You may have heard some strong and offensive language tonight. The tics you've heard tonight are involuntary, which means the person who has Tourette's syndrome has no control over their language. We apologise if you were offended.
If you were offended? I mean, the only two options are being offended or liking it. Saying if ruins a whole apology the same way kind of ruins a whole wedding vow. I vow to kind of be faithful. Also, maybe the apology shouldn't come from the host of the Traitors. I honestly don't trust anything that man says anymore. But enough from Floop from Spy Kids. Let's go even deeper. What if when we heard all of Trump's promises, we thought he was talking to us, but maybe he was just talking to himself? Because if you look at it that way, he might be keeping his promises. Like, look at healthcare. He's been promising to improve healthcare for like a decade now. And things are so bad, the only health care most people can afford is watching The Pit and hoping Noah Wiley tells a patient how to treat eczema. Let's begin with President Trump. He started his second term in January, promising to keep America out of foreign wars. Now it's December, and he almost made it a year.
President Trump hinting at land strikes in Venezuela as backlash on the controversial boat strikes deepens.
We're going to start doing those strikes on land, too. You know, the land is much easier. It's much easier. And we know the routes they take. We know everything about them. We know where they live. We know where the bad ones live.
We know where they live. We know if they've been good or bad. What is he, drone strike Santa? Trump, you gotta wait until after you do something to flex. If you had never made a big deal out of the pool, no one would have noticed. I mean, RFK would still be down there because to him, that's yummy. But Trump basically shot a buzzer-beating, game-winning shot, turned around and threw his hands up in the air to celebrate, and then instead of going in, it missed and killed a baby duckling. Now you got people across the country coming over to gawk at the fact that you turned the reflecting pool into a Kool-Aid bucket. So he lied about his dead dad. That settles it for me. Surely he should walk away.
An ex-banker refiling his bombshell lawsuit against a female executive and adding alleged new evidence.
A family friend claims that he witnessed some of this, specifically says he was asleep on the couch one night when the JP Morgan boss came out of the bedroom completely naked, sat on the couch, smoked a cigarette, and said, "You need to come in here and join us."
Yep. He refiled with a witness, and it's even pornier. But surely you aren't going to go up there into the tower and bother the air traffic controllers while they're working.
How does the shutdown impact controllers in towers like this, not just in Newark, but around the country?
I think the biggest thing is, it's just a distraction that we don't need.
Yeah. If there's one thing I don't need in a job like this, it's a distraction. The only thing more distracting than a shutdown would be if my boss showed up with a camera crew and made me do an interview facing away from the windows while I'm trying to land planes. What's happening in Portland that requires Trump to send troops in? Well, Trump held a big meeting yesterday to explain why.
It should be clear to all Americans that we have a very serious left-wing terror threat in our country. Radicals associated with the domestic terror group Antifa.
Antifa? That's who you're declaring a domestic terrorist organization. That's tricky because while there are people who identify as Antifa, it isn't really an official group. They don't even have a website. Like, my cousin's baby has its own website. And that's an ugly baby. Its voice changed in the womb. You put your ear to his mom's stomach and you just heard, "I'm coming." So, no website, no brick and mortar store. All across the country, there's delays, shortages, and cancellations. The only people that could possibly be excited about this is Spirit Airlines. They're sitting at the airport like, "You were all talking shit. For years, you had jokes. We're all Spirit now." I bet they're all at the airport doing their best Bane impressions, like, "I was born in the cancellations. Molded by them. I didn't see a flight until I was already a man." What else can you even do to these people?
For the most part, we're going to take care of our people. There are some people that really don't deserve to be taken care of, and we'll take care of them in a different way.
I guess kill them? He's not very good at delivering threats. Like, "I'll take care of them in a different way" could mean anything from murder to giving them a happy ending. But here's the thing, Donald. Are you sure you want to be piling more stress on air traffic controllers? Because they were already air traffic controllers. That job is like juggling and playing Russian roulette at the same time. I don't think they can handle not getting back pay. And if the air traffic control system falls apart, this is bad for you. Because if you can't fly anymore, that Qatari jet you got is just going to be sitting on the White House lawn like a white trash Winnebago. We already have a treaty with Denmark that lets us build as many military bases in Greenland as necessary. I don't know why we need to own Greenland to defend it.
You need the ownership to defend it. You can't defend it on a lease. Number one, legally it's not defensible that way, totally. And number two, psychologically, who the hell wants to defend a license agreement or a lease?
I guess I get what he means, because you do care less about things when they're not yours. Like, a parent will do anything to protect their kids, but if I'm babysitting... Yeah, I mean, like, I'll give it a good college try, but at the end of the day, he don't look like me, all right? You know you've been pardoning too many people when you're like, I'm sorry, which notorious drug lord are we talking about? At least give me the first letter or we'll be here all night. It's wild how Trump always talks to the media like he's in court. He's like, I don't know who you're talking about. I wasn't there. I'm not even here. That's all she said, and now she's being treated like royalty.
A whistleblower alleges that Ghislaine Maxwell is getting special treatment in prison.
Maxwell's meals have been customized. They are delivered directly to her cell. She is personally escorted to the exercise area after hours and gets to enjoy recreation time in staff-only areas. When she wants private meetings, the warden personally arranges them, providing an assortment of snacks and refreshments for her guests.
I mean, she gets to hang out in the staff areas. Can you imagine being a prison guard who can't watch TV in the break room because Ghislaine taking a nap on the couch? You will never, and I mean never, beat RFK Jr. in a game of Never Have I Ever. You'd be sitting with them like, never have I ever eaten a raccoon's. I did it. I didn't even say what part yet. Doesn't matter. Donnie, let me help you out. You have got to chill. People are not shanking the pool at night. Also, algae can't be that hard to get rid of. I mean, damn, you got one of the biggest algae eaters in your cabinet. Send him down to the pool. He'll be like, looks like soup. Broccoli cheddar. I've never heard anybody plead anything other than the fifth before. But this guy's so guilty, he's calling out every amendment he can think of. Like, no, what's the one with the women voting? 19, throw that in too. We're sending more troops? That doesn't sound like the war is over. This is very confusing. Should I or shouldn't I go to Times Square in my sailor outfit to kiss random women? Mr. President, I thought we won.
We've won. Let me say it, we've won.
Of course we won. Those troops are obviously going there to help set up for the victory party, you know? You ever try to set up a bouncy castle with just 1,000 troops? Now that's an impossible mission, like Tom Cruise and Jerry Maguire. And besides, 1,000 troops isn't even that many. It's actually the lowest thousands of troops you can have. You know the medal is only a symbol, right? Like, just because I steal A$AP Rocky's wedding ring doesn't make it so I'm married to Rihanna. Unless it would. I guess it's really what she thinks. Like, it's kind of her decision to make, and I'm waiting. So look, earned or not, his or not, Trump has the Peace Prize. And who knows, having the Peace Prize might make him a man of peace. What if he spends the rest of his life devoted to living up to it?
President Trump turns up the heat on Greenland. The president refusing to rule out military action.
You just got the Peace Prize. It's insane to immediately do the opposite of what you get a prize for. That's like if right after the Olympics, Michael Phelps drowned in the shallow end. Am I the only one who doesn't know what he's talking about?
And that's your latest weather. Guys, Claire, I just learned something new. What exactly is a haboob?
Thank you, Craig Melvin. Very brave to admit on live TV that you've never seen a haboob. let alone felt one. I'm right there with you, brother. All right, so what is it?
It is a massive dust storm. If you remember in Mission Impossible, Tom Cruise running running after that storm, ahead of that storm, that's a haboob.
See, now I get what you're talking about. I would understand the news a lot more if they told me what Tom Cruise movie it pertains to. I need them on the news like what America is doing here is like an impossible mission, like Tom Cruise in the movie Magnolia. Trump just can't resist being a bully. He's sitting there like, hey, they say in space no one can hear you scream except for this guy, right? He can definitely hear it. Am I right? Am I right? And by the way, these astronauts do not look happy to be there. They're like, this is the most uncomfortable I've ever felt. And 2 weeks ago, I was pooping in zero gravity. Since Me Too, we've been warned about the dangers of a man in power being falsely accused with no evidence, damaging their reputation. Also, an accuser can enrich themselves. And now it may have happened to a woman. Not to mention, the internet ran wild making tons of AI memes with her actual face, which will be online forever. So the only thing clear with this case is that there is definitely sexual harassment happening here by the media. Let's kick things off with an update in our war with Iran. It started about a month ago, and today President Trump spoke to the nation with some good news about the war.
They did something yesterday that was amazing, actually. They gave us a present, and the present arrived today. And it was a very big present worth a tremendous amount of money. And I'm not going to tell you what that present is, but it was a very significant prize.
This is an issue across the entire Karen American community. Marjorie Taylor Greene wants the files. Lauren Boebert wants a special counsel. She's like, I came to Washington to expose pedophiles and jack people off. And I'm fresh out of people to jack off. That was clearly made up. MLK never said the words fun fact.
Well, the FBI file says it was his signature catchphrase, so fun fact, you're wrong again.
It's not suspicious to you that all these secret files exonerate Trump from knowing Epstein?
That's why they're secret, Josh, because the deep state has been out to get Trump, and MLK was trying to expose their scheme. He said it in a secret video I found in the MLK files in a folder labeled Grace. Look at this. Check it out.
Obviously, Republicans are mad about Mamdani's win, but it also pissed off the Democratic establishment, which is pretty insane because they're in your party. And Zoran, you need to watch out because you know what happens when establishment Dems are mad at you. You get away with whatever you want. A crackhead can never go from A to B, all right? When I was a kid, I'd see a dude who needed $15, but instead of asking for money, he would try to sell you a tire, which of course he didn't have, but he did have a bike chain, and if you would buy that bike chain from him for $12, he would put that towards the tire, and then one day, eventually, buy crack. And my point is, that's a better drug plan than what Donald Trump is doing. Obama!
The witch hunt that you should be talking about is they caught President Obama absolutely cold. They tried to steal the election. They tried to obfuscate the election. Irrefutable proof that Obama was sedacious.
No, booze aside. Sedacious? It feels like he's mispronouncing a new black friend's name. Oh, I want you to meet my friend, Sedacious. Thanks. It's Sean. The problem with this distraction is that it's so old, Jeffrey Epstein wouldn't date it, all right? The GOP didn't do Trump any favors by releasing these emails. They basically saw his grease fire and said, let us add some water. And his supporters on TV aren't doing that much better.
This is obviously an attempt to smear the president by cherry picking.
This is just all for show.
A distraction. Just ridiculous.
The carnival showed it's journalistically malpractice.
Why weren't they as concerned about Bill Clinton?
They love to create drama.
This whole Epstein Files thing, a little bit played out.
Played out? You know shit's bad when the sensationalist media is like, you guys don't want to hear about the international island sex scandal. Let's talk about budgetary cuts. Let's get nasty. They ask you if you're going to pardon her. You barely remember her, right? You don't know her, and you're trying to get into heaven, buddy. Remember? That's the play. That's the journey you're on. You're trying to get into heaven, and you don't even really know this lady, so you're obviously not even going to consider pardoning her.
Well, I'll take a look at it.
But you're considering that.
I will speak to the DOJ. I wouldn't consider it or not consider it. I don't know anything about it. So
why would she be a candidate?
I will speak to the DOJ.
Why would she be? But she was convicted of child sex trafficking.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to have to take a look at it.
Everybody's complaining about the pool, but they're coming out to see it. I'm not saying it's better this way. I'm just saying it seems to be pretty popular. This is how far America has fallen. The last time we collected this many people around the reflecting pool was for civil rights. People were like, we must come out to support Dr. King. 60 years later, we're like, a slimy pool, this I gotta see. There have to be arguments for this ballroom that don't just make the president sound like an indoor cat.
I never understood the opposition to the ballroom. I mean, all women love ballrooms.
All women love ballrooms? That argument is so sexist, it's one step away from being super woke. Like, all women love ballrooms? Why can't the president feel like a pretty girl? What a tone. You know you're caught when you have to repeat what you were being accused of back to the person. Like, just so you have time to think, like, who's been texting me? Who's been texting me all night? You want to see my text messages? You want to see text messages? Like, a man can't even type anymore. This used to be a free country. You know, it's like, fine, look, see, you'll see I've never gotten a text message in my life. No one exercises to improve the government's finances. Imagine if your Peloton instructor was like, okay, 5 more minutes and Kash Patel can fly private to Burning Man. But are we really advertising walking? Isn't that like a basic biological activity? What's the next video in this series? Hi, I'm Dr. Oz. Have you tried shitting in a toilet? It could save us billions.
According to the New York Post, he never reported to her during his entire time at JP Morgan, and they actually were under 2 different managing directors.
Now I don't even know if the doubt has a shadow. I mean, he didn't report to her? Isn't that the whole basis of someone being your boss? This means she's just a lady to you. Kind of pokes a pretty big hole in the whole my boss made me her sex slave argument. We've got Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, former Real World cast member and somehow most qualified cabinet member. And he is on the case.
I'm here at Newark Airport about to go up into the tower and talk to some of our air traffic controllers.
Okay, cool video. I like that you used the music from a barbecue sauce ad, all right? Jeffrey Epstein died back in 2019, but not since Tupac Shakur has a dead man dropped so many bangers, all right? Yesterday, video of the government questioning him back in 2010 started making the rounds, and you'll never guess whose name came up. Go ahead, guess.
Have you ever socialized with Donald Trump in the presence of females under the age of 18?
Though I'd like to answer that question, at least today,
I'm going to have to assert my 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendment rights, sir.
I'm going to put that down. I'm going to put that down as a yes. Donald Trump is promising to lower drug prices for America. That's the news for the day. And I'm sure no one is going to talk about anything else.
Brand new bombshell reporting from the Wall Street Journal.
The Wall Street Journal reporting that U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi told President Trump back in May that his name appears multiple times in the Epstein files.
No. You're best friends. You're best friends with a pedophile for 10 years, one time, and the world never forgets it. But yeah, this whole time, Trump already knew he was in the Epstein files, which is a good reminder that if someone's acting guilty, they're probably guilty. No one's ever going to be like, don't look at my browser history. You'll see all the charities I volunteer for. With so many seniors getting scammed in America, I'm glad one of them is turning the tables. I just don't want it to be on us, you know? And $400 million is way too much. Why is this ballroom so expensive? Is the roof gonna be made of Coachella tickets? What could possibly make this thing cost so much? Like, be specific.
Underneath, there will be a lot of military stuff.
Military stuff? What military stuff? Name 10 military stuffs. I'll wait. Lindsey Graham sounds like me in 5th grade trying to convince my mom to get me an Xbox. Like, you know, they make educational games too. I'm not necessarily afraid of AI in what I do as far as performance. I think it's already been very well said that, like, the things that people do for connection and for real experiences, AI can't replace.
The U.S. Army making some changes to try and draw more recruits. The Army just increased the maximum enlistment age to 42. That's up from 35.
Oh, shit. We're letting 42-year-olds sign up for the military now? They're going to have to change the name from Operation Epic Fury to Operation Why Does My Back Hurt? I must have slept on it funny. Because the likelihood of a 42-year-old being great at war is like any person being great with nunchucks. Some people will be good, but most are going to hurt themselves immediately. Bruce Lee, incredible. My uncle, concussion. Last night was election night in America. Again. So if you were in a middle school gymnasium yesterday, hopefully that's the reason why. And while every election has its winners and losers, there was one guy who came out on top last night who wasn't even on the ballot.
Democratic Socialist Mayor Zohran Mamdani winning records this morning, 3 endorsements and 3 victories. The progressive candidates he backed won their House primary races.
The king of New York City politics right now is Mayor Mamdani. He's the kingmaker and he's in charge.
A socialist making kings? That's crazy. That's like if a capitalist made a hospital everybody could afford. This is the first time I've seen Trump be humble about anything. Like, normally he'd be like, heaven's begging me to come. I'm only staying alive to play hard to get. Jesus came up to me with tears in his eyes and he said, please, sir, come fix heaven. It's a total dump. While Pam Bondi is stonewalling the Senate, Mike Johnson is shutting the whole House down. That way, no one can vote on releasing the Epstein files. And of all people running interference for the Epstein files, it's Mike Johnson. You think someone who looks like an 11-year-old boy would care about pedophilia, all right? You know, because he might get caught in the crossfire. If you're someone who still has to say, put me down, I'm a grown man, then you should be fighting to release the Epstein files. Let's start with King Charles, the world's oldest Nepo baby. He's visiting the United States this week because even though our country is falling apart right now, it's also our 250th birthday. So no matter how sad the party is going to be, our friends are still coming over, okay? Then on the ride home, they'll be like, she is a rough 250. Why is Donald Trump so gung-ho about going to war over Greenland? And I promise you, the answer is dumber than you would have guessed.
President Trump's escalating push to acquire Greenland, now linking it to a perceived Nobel Peace Prize snub in a text message to Norway's prime minister.
Dear Jonas, considering your country decided not to give me the Nobel Peace Prize for having stopped 8 wars plus, I no longer feel an obligation to think purely of peace.
There are a lot of reasons to think Trump is out of his mind, all right? The first one here is, who starts a text message with dear? Because you know this dude is also sending completely blank voice memos, too. The point is, CNN found all this new footage, and Trump didn't really appreciate it.
You actually called President Trump directly to ask him about this story?
Yeah, we weren't on the phone very long. It only lasted about 30 seconds. But when I got him on the phone, I asked him about the wedding photos. He kind of paused and then said, "You've got to be kidding me." He then called CNN and me fake news a few times, and then he hung up the phone.
Wait, hold on. You can just call Donald Trump and he'll just pick up the phone himself? A president shouldn't be that available, you know? This is like pushing the call button for the flight attendant and then the pilot comes out. Like, it's like, aren't you supposed to be busy? Like, if you're here, then who's in the cockpit? I think this just shows how lonely Trump is. He's answering the phone because he just wants someone to talk to. It's kind of sad. Because remember, his best friend died in prison back in 2019. There's a lot of stuff that's too expensive. For example, houses. No one can afford a home. Everybody keeps waiting for him to show up on Prime Day, but it never happens. So maybe Trump could do something to bring down mortgages.
The Trump administration moves forward with a plan to introduce 50-year mortgages.
Or you can make them much longer, you know, because you know where we'll all be in 50 years, dead, you know what I mean? This seems like a bad idea, and if black people could get loans, I'd be worried. But hey, maybe I'm just hating, all right? It's getting to the point where it's harder and harder to find a photo of Donald Trump without Jeffrey Epstein in it. As Donald Trump, your only hope is to be like, hey, I take pictures with lots of people, all right? I'm in pictures with OJ, Diddy. I'm in pictures with Harvey Weinstein. That's not helping. I'm gonna stop. I'm getting a lot of mixed signals. Does the Trump administration think these guys are heroes or pieces of shit?
Yes.
How can you be both a hero and a piece of shit?
I don't know. You could save a cat from a tree, then call it a gay slur, I guess. These controllers know what I'm talking about. Keep up the good work there, Stan, you mooching turd dragon.
Jordan, this is the problem. People can't possibly believe that Trump is giving federal workers the support they need when he keeps taunting them.
Oh, Trump's not taunting these poor federal workers. Trump's just saying, what's the matter, huh? You want this little paycheck? Who wants this little paycheck? Who wants this little paycheck, huh? Then why don't you get some scotch tape and put it back together, you turd-sucking vultures?
Donald Trump's been having a pretty good time. The shutdown ended, he didn't have to concede anything, and he didn't even have to give poor people health care, his favorite kind of deal. Huh? Everything's coming up Trump. Nothing can stop the Trump train now.
Breaking news, convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein mentioned Donald Trump by name several times in private emails.
Ladies and There is an Epstein file on the tracks. We should be moving as soon as we get that cleared. But the question is, who is to blame for the shutdown in the first place? Well, according to a story from Republican Congressman Andy Barr, that definitely happened. It's the Democrats.
I was going through TSA the other day, Maria, and a patriotic, wonderful TSA supervisory officer stopped me, and she told me that she had missed her second paycheck. And I said, I'm so sorry. That's so wrong that you missed your second paycheck. And she said, why are you apologizing? You voted for my paycheck. You voted repeatedly. Republicans have voted repeatedly for our paycheck. It's the Democrats who need to apologize to me.